Hello and good Tuesday, December 4th, 2007. Today's Rocket Boom takes you backstage to meet Garrison Keillor during an annual holiday taping of Prairie Home Companion.
Prairie Home Companion is a radio show, it's a live radio show, a variety show with drama and stories and comedy and music for people who want free entertainment and who want to sit at home, where you can walk away from the radio and walk back to it. You can cook while you're doing this. People walk down the street with it in their little ears, and they listen to it. People listen to it on stationary bicycles and while they're on treadmills all over the place.
You exist on National Public Radio and various different other radio broadcasts around the world, and you are also available as a podcast. People can download you. Do you think, and I know that you've existed as a movie, is there another home for Prairie Home Companion? Will this be something that we might see as a TV show or in some other form? Will you ever dwell in another realm other than where you dwell today?
I don't think so. I think that television has gone in a very different direction, and the sort of show that we do might have had a home on television 20 years ago, but no more. I think that time has gone. And television, commercial broadcast television in the United States is not nearly so attractive as it might once have been. The television audience is so splintered into tiny audiences, most of which are smaller than the audience for Prairie Home Companion on the radio.
Well, because we're a pod show, I'll end with this. Do you spend any time on the internet? Do you have any internet and online favorites, places you like to go, things you like to do on a computer?
I go every day. Probably several times a day. I do a lot of business by email and email attachment, and it is an amazing convenience, of course, which enables people to work who are working with words to work at a great distance, living their lives independently. I have colleagues who sit in coffee shops and like to be surrounded by conversation, and meanwhile they're sitting there and we are either chatting in a chat box or we are exchanging emails back and forth, and it is so much it is just so much more efficient and decent and civilized than the old system of sitting around a long table, meetings in which boring bullying people dominate. It's a huge advance. Wikipedia is, though its authority was questioned early on, is now the backbone of any writer's research. This is an amazing invention. The Google search engine is something that once a writer becomes accustomed to it, I cannot imagine anybody going back. I say this as somebody who loved encyclopedias and loved reference rooms, but we've crossed that line, and there simply is no going back. Okay. This is why I've never made it in television, because my socks don't come up high enough.